The Sims 4 100 Baby Challenge. We all know it. We all love it, or hate it, or love and hate it all at the same time. It's, well, challenging. It's fast-paced, and it's crazy, to the point of driving the player crazy. Well, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be out of control crazy. I mean, sure, it's bound to have its crazy moments. There's really no avoiding that entirely. But with the right strategies in place, it can be absolutely manageable, albeit still challenging. But dare I say, fun? Yes, you heard me right. You can absolutely do a 100 baby challenge in The Sims 4 and have things completely, well, almost completely under your control. And today, I'm going to start telling you how. Today, I'm going to share with you the strategies I personally have found to be the most helpful and most effective in playing a baby challenge in The Sims 4. These tips can help you with any kind of baby challenge, whether it's the 100 baby challenge, the A to Z baby challenge, or even the 7 toddler challenge. So before we get started, a general disclaimer. This video series is just going to be me sharing with you the strategies that I have personally found helpful or useful in playing a Sims baby challenge. They are by no means all-encompassing or the only way to win or even enjoy a baby challenge. I certainly don't claim to know it all. After all, I'm just some random girl on the internet who likes playing Sims baby challenges. Some random girl who is nutty enough to claim baby challenges can be fun. So this is going to be a multi-part series where I focus on sharing strategies for specific phases in a Sims baby challenge. I have a lot of information I want to share with you guys, and I don't want the videos to be too long. So in today's part, the first part of this series, we're going to be focusing on the getting started phase. Because what you do at the very beginning, even before the first object, baby, is born, will have a huge impact on the trajectory of your baby challenge in the future. So the very first strategy that I'm going to share with you, and I would even go so far as to say it could be the most important strategy at doing well at a baby challenge, is having a clear and realistic plan for how your matriarch is going to make her money. So one of the rules of the 100 baby challenge and the A to Z baby challenge is your matriarch cannot work outside the home. So any money that she makes has got to be outside of a more traditional type of job. So you're going to have to figure out how you want your matriarch to make her money, because that's actually going to be the foundation of a lot of other things that you're going to do when you get started, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Luckily, in The Sims 4, there are still lots of options as to what you can have a Sim do when making their money from home. Popular ways that Simmers have had their matriarchs make money are through gardening, by painting, and there's even a freelance career now that your matriarch can choose where they can work from home. Or in my 100 baby challenge, my matriarch does YouTube videos, so she's making her money as a vlogger. So there's really lots of great and creative ways out there for your matriarch to make money. So the thing is, as I said, love playing 100 baby challenge, and I also really enjoy watching others play the 100 baby challenge. And one of the things that I see consistently tripping some people up is that they really didn't have a clear or realistic plan for how they were going to have their matriarch support themselves and their kids in their challenge. So let me just talk a little bit more about what I mean by clear and realistic. So you have to have it in your head that you know exactly what your plan is for making money. So for example, in my A to Z baby challenge, I had my matriarch Rose make her money through gardening, and I actually had her growing money trees, which is also a great thing to do in your 100 baby challenge because it's gonna get you a lot of money really fast. So I knew that was how Rose was going to make her money. With my 100 baby challenge, my matriarch Azura, I knew that I wanted her to be a mom vlogger. That's sort of the whole arc of what I'm doing with her is, you know, she's trying to get famous as a mom vlogger by having 100 kids. However, I also know, and this is where the clear and realistic part comes in, I know that in The Sims 4, your sim cannot make a lot of money at the very beginning by making YouTube videos. So in the meantime, I also had her build her painting skill and I had her paint to make the fast money while we were waiting to get her in a more established place where she could make some money doing mom vlogs. If you have the seasons pack, definitely have your matriarch save her aspiration points and get that money tree that comes as an aspiration reward with seasons because, oh my goodness, you will never worry about money again. I promise you, it's so worth it. So in thinking about how you're going to have your matriarch make money, that definitely has to be kept in mind when you go to pick traits for both your lot and your matriarch. So I have my A to Z Baby Challenge matriarch pulled up because she was, by all accounts, really kind of an ideal matriarch to have for this type of challenge. So the very first thing is, no matter what you decide to do, always, always, always pick the Big Happy Family aspiration for your matriarch to start. Now, you might be thinking, you know, why not one of the other family aspirations? I mean, there are several. Well, the reason is that not all reward traits are created equal. And with the Big Happy Family aspiration, the reward trait you get is so OP for any kind of baby challenge that you want to get that as quickly as you can. Because with the Big Happy Family aspiration, when you complete it, your matriarch actually gets the ability to raise her children's skills, and that includes toddlers, child, teens. I've even seen it work when her adult children are around. But basically what it does is whenever she's around, their skills all go up super fast, and she doesn't even have to be the one working with them. So like, let's say you have one of the older kids working with a toddler on their thinking skill. As long as Miss Matriarch here is around, they're gonna build their skill way faster. She doesn't even have to be doing anything with them just by being near them. And honestly, it makes a huge, huge difference, guys. So definitely always pick the Big Happy Family aspiration to start. The next thing is keeping in mind, again, what you're gonna have your matriarch do to make her money. So there's only one trait that, in my opinion, is really a must-have for any matriarch, and that is the romantic trait. And that's simply because you have to get your matriarch romantic with so many guys in this challenge that it's just really a huge benefit for her to be romantic. It's just gonna help build those romantic relationships that you need so much faster. Family-oriented is definitely an ideal one. And again, I'm kind of showing Rose right now because she was kind of an ideal matriarch for any kind of baby challenge. And again, we also need to always keep in mind how we plan to have our matriarch make the money. So in Rose's case, I actually had her do gardening, and we don't really have a trait in The Sims 4 that builds the gardening skill faster or helps with the gardening. I mean, I guess you could pick loves the outdoors, but in her case, I just decided to go with cheerful because it helps them be in a good mood. And we know with everything that happens in a baby challenge, having a matriarch who's apt to be in a good mood is definitely a benefit. I mean, there's really no rule about the traits, so you could always say, hey, I want to make things very challenging, and I'm gonna give my matriarch a more difficult trait, like maybe make her erratic so that she only listens to me half the time and does whatever she feels like. But who would really be stupid enough to do that? Oh, wait. So the next thing that you're going to want to consider in getting started in your baby challenge is the lot traits that you give to your home. Now keep in mind, when you're doing the 100 baby challenge or the A to Z baby challenge, you are not allowed to change your lot traits. So what you pick has got to stick. So make sure you choose carefully. So the very first thing, I know a lot of people are now playing the baby challenge in a tiny home just for the skill boost that it gives. I personally Can't imagine playing with 8 Sims in a tiny home. It's just not for me. However, if that's something you would like, more power to you. But as far as the lot traits go, the number one thing is you definitely want to make sure that you use the Good Schools lot trait. And the reason for that is if you have the Good Schools lot trait and you have your child or your teens work hard and they have their homework done and they have their skill level to whatever they need to raise their grade, if they have all of that and you have the Good Schools lot trait, they will get their grade up in a day. Not even lying. So grade boost in one day. That means you can have your children age up in like 2 days and your teens potentially in one day if you have a character value trait, which that's the part. Usually my teens don't have that in one day. However, it is possible. So you definitely want to choose a Good Schools lot trait no matter what else you choose. I also personally like to go for the Child's Play one. You don't have to use this. I wouldn't say it's quite as important as the Good Schools one, but it does help your kids level their skills up a little bit faster. And as far as the other lot traits that you're going to want to think about is, again, you're going to want to consider how your matriarch is going to make her money. So for me, I knew that my 100 baby matriarch was going to be painting at the beginning of the challenge. So I chose the natural light lot trait so that she would get her painting skill up faster. However, now that she's already mastered that, I kind of feel like it's worthless, and I think I really should have probably gone for, like, which one is it? The home studio one, because that would still be benefiting us. If you're going to have your matriarch garden, you know, great soil would be a good one. Some people like the study spot one because I think that can help the kids get their homework done faster. I've always assumed that was only for university, but I don't think it is. I think any homework gets done faster. Again, just keep in mind what you're going to be doing to make the money. Now, one thing that I will tell you, in my opinion, that you should stay away from, especially if you're doing the 100 baby challenge, is the on ley line trait. Okay, so the reason for that is you actually don't want twins or triplets in the 100 baby challenge. I'm gonna repeat that. You don't want twins and triplets in the 100 baby challenge. And again, this is something you're gonna see a lot of people do. And I'm not telling you you can't play that way. I'm telling you it's going to be a lot easier, and you're going to win the challenge a lot easier if you don't use the ley line trait. So a couple reasons for that. So first thing is your matriarch does not age when she is pregnant. So let's think about this hypothetically. It takes 7 kids to fill the household, right? Because you've got your matriarch, you got your 7 kids, and then you've got the 8 household spots. So if the pregnancies in The Sims 4 last 3 days. So to fill your household, that would be, if you're having twins every time, that would be 4 pregnancies. And so that would be 12 age-free days for your matriarch. However, if you have those 7 kids each in a single pregnancy, that is 21 age-free days for your matriarch. So you're talking about a difference of 12 versus 21. When you think about all the kids you have to have in the baby challenge, you know, once you get to like 20 kids, you know, you're talking about a difference of 30 days versus 60 days. So as you can see, it really, really adds up. So you definitely want to stay away from the on ley line trait because it's gonna help your matriarch stay young a lot longer. The other reason is it's actually gonna help with your pacing. If you have the ley line trait and you're having twins and triplets, it's gonna take not too long to fill the household up quickly. And a lot of people, it seems like, think that's a good thing because, you know, after all, we wanna have 100 kids, right? Actually, no, because the goal of the challenge is not to see who can have the most babies the fastest. The goal of the challenge is to see who can have 100 babies and skill them up and move them out the fastest. There's a little bit of a distinction there. And if you have single pregnancies with your matriarch, you're gonna actually be able to tip your household scales in favor of having more older kids and less younger kids. And that's actually what you want in this challenge because as we know, the older kids are easier to manage and the teens and young adults can actually help you take care of the younger kids and help skill them up. So it's a lot better to have a household of 7 kids and have 4 of them be teens than to have 6 toddlers and 1 child. So you definitely want to stay away from the on ley line trait. And while we're here in build mode, another thing that's important when you're getting started is making sure you get the best bed that you can afford for your matriarch. Now, obviously at the beginning, you're not going to be able to afford the best bed, but what I always tried to do was to at least go for a bed that wasn't uncomfortable, because the uncomfortable beds hurt their back and then it puts them in a bad mood and it makes it hard to get them to do anything. And further, through the course of the challenge, that's going to be one of the first things, if not the first thing, that you would want to upgrade, because in The Sims 4, the higher rating for the bed, the less time your sim will need to spend to get a full night's sleep. So like this bed, for example, you can see it's a 10 on everything. Same with this Get Famous bed. When you compare that to one of the cheaper beds, so like let's say this one, not only is it uncomfortable, but the energy level's only 4. So it's gonna take a lot longer in this bed to get a good night's sleep than it would be in this bed or this bed. And the reason that's important is because the less your matriarch sleeps, the more time that they have to make money, take care of their kids, skill them up, find men, you know, basically everything. The next strategy that you need to figure out before you even get started also, that I think is pretty important too, is make sure you have a way that you can keep the challenge fun and entertaining for you. As you can imagine, 100 babies is pretty tedious. Even 26 babies is pretty tedious. And another thing that tends to trip simmers up is boredom. I mean, it gets boring if you're doing the same thing all the time. Totally get it. And I would say that's probably the #1 reason that simmers do not complete or win the 100 baby challenge. They get bored. So you need to figure out, what are you going to do in the challenge that's going to keep you from getting bored? It could be a story arc that you're going to have along with the 100 baby challenge. You might decide to add a wheel randomizer to change things up. Whatever you decide to do, figure out some way that's going to keep you from getting bored. Once you've created your matriarch and you have your house all ready to go, you actually get to go into the game and start playing. And of course, the very first thing that you are going to want to do is have your matriarch get out there and meet some men. Yes, men plural, because we want her to not only meet the person that she's gonna have a baby with first, but it's really helpful if you can just have her go out and just meet as many men as possible in the beginning so that she has a list to work from in the future. One helpful tip is, before you send your matriarch to do that, make sure that all of her needs are taken care of, because romantic socials in The Sims 4 go so much better if your matriarch is not uncomfortable or hungry or in a bad mood. Even after you manage to get your matriarch successfully pregnant with baby #1, make sure she's still going out there and meeting those men. I cannot stress enough just how much it's going to help you in the future to use this time productively and just have this as big a list of donors in the future to choose from as possible. In fact, this is a tip that will actually help you throughout the challenge, is once your matriarch is pregnant, decide who is going to get her pregnant next and actually have her work on the romance with that future baby daddy or donor or whatever you like to call them. Get to the point where she can woohoo him, because if you do that, when it's time to have that first baby, you will be able to invite over the next guy and have him ready to go as soon as that baby is born. You'll be able to try for a baby right away. And the reason that that's important is because, again, it comes back to the aging. If your matriarch is constantly pregnant or pretty close to constantly pregnant, she's not going to be aging, and that's going to help you so much in this challenge. You're also going to want to take this time before the first baby is born to have your matriarch make as much money as possible. Again, the key is we're not just waiting here for the first baby, we're using this time productively, and we're doing all the things that we can do to prepare as best as we can. Trust me, once that baby is born and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, she's gonna have a lot less time to do these things, so take advantage of the time now. So guys, that pretty much concludes the strategies I wanted to share with you about getting started in a baby challenge. Obviously, like I said before, this is not an all-encompassing list. If there's anything else that you have found has helped you when getting started in the baby challenge that I may not have mentioned, please leave them in the comments below. Next time, we are actually gonna be covering strategies that will help you through the baby and toddler stages of the challenge. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. If you're new here and you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As I said, there will be more videos to come in this series. Guys, don't forget to drop a comment below. I always love hearing what you have to say. It honestly makes my day. And I'll see you later. Bye.